Hello there, Battle Cats players. My name is Chance, and welcome to the first ever channel recap for July of 2023. As a quick foreword, my voice is killing me right now. I just recorded a few videos, and man, I am not liking what it's doing to my throat. In addition to that, I'm pretty sure I got like allergies going on or something, so forgive me if I don't sound quite as energetic as I usually do. To start out with, let's talk about this month in particular. Granted, this channel technically started out in June, but it was only for like a week or so I'm counting July as the first one worth recapping. So if any of the numbers look a little bit weird to you, that's why. Firstly, we released 20 videos this month, which is shy of our one-a-day goal, but, for just figuring out a channel, it's not too bad. We released 157 shorts and made 123 posts, which isn't too shabby if you ask me. That's a pretty good amount of content out for a month. As far as metrics are concerned, we gained a total of 481 subscribers, got 2.1 million impressions, had a click-through rate of 3.8%, got just shy of 100,000 views, had an average view duration of 1 minute and 12 seconds, and total watch time of 838.1 hours. A couple things I want to point out in relation to this. First and foremost, since I did the more lewd, thumbnails, there has been a noticeable increase in CTR. Although not as noticeable as I thought initially, when you look at the individual video performance, it is quite staggering. It's more so just a lot of our videos, when they've got their initial boost of impressions, had fairly boring thumbnails, so it's kind of just dragging down the average, unfortunately. Our average click-through rate for virtually all of the newer videos we've dropped off has been basically in the 4 to 6% range. And for the non-YouTube savvy or people who just don't really know among us, CTR stands for click-through rate, and it is basically how many people saw your video kind of appear and then have clicked on it. And in many ways, it is probably the single most significant metric of any YouTube channel. A good click-through rate is considered to be anywhere from 2 to 10%. So really, I'm pretty happy with what it is even for this month, but I'm hoping it gets a lot better. And another thing I want to point out here really quick is the total watch time. That is both video and shorts cumulatively. So it doesn't go towards the 4,000 hours you need for watch time, and I'll show that in a little bit. As far as other KPIs go, the percentage of viewers that are subscribed is only 5.4%. Which sounds pretty bad, and it's not great, but I don't know, it's one of those things where, I personally am a person who, very rarely, if ever, subscribes to other YouTubers, and I just really rely on the algorithm to show me their content when it gets released, and I feel like most people fall into that category, unfortunately. If you fall into that category, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to make you do it, and I know it's not really in your habit to do so, but I don't really know of an effective way to bribe people like me into subscribing, which is kind of ironic. Then as far as viewers go, so this is actually kind of weird and not really what I was expecting, but 94% of my viewers only ever see the shorts, which is interesting. 2% of them are video only, so those people probably just don't use YouTube Shorts for whatever reason. And 4% are both. So there's not really much of an overlap. The vast majority of my viewers only ever see shorts. And to be fair to them, a lot of my views come from non-English speaking countries, so I think that's actually more so why. Post impressions are 8,500, which is interesting. It's one of those things where I don't really have much of a benchmark for that, but still kind of cool that so many people have seen my posts. Up next here, I'm just going to start showing some screenshots so you guys can kind of get the general idea of what's happening here. So on the left here, this is how much click-through rate really affects your success. So once again, we got 2.1 million impressions for this month, which is pretty dang good. And with the 3.4% click-through rate, that comes down to 71,000 views. Now, this isn't really indicative of the videos. This is including shorts content. So it is a little bit weird. At least that's my understanding of this particular graph. If I'm getting it wrong, let me know why down beneath. And I'm really only showing it to show how even a small percentage increase in click-through rate can dramatically affect the channel's success. Then on the right hand side, we have how viewers are finding me. And as you can see, the vast majority of it are browser features, which is like YouTube showing people my thumbnails, or Shorts feed, which is just appearing in the Shorts feed for whoever's watching. It is my hope that we can see an increase in YouTube search, which is in third place, but like it's pretty insignificant next to the other two, as well as others, namely Google search. So I've really done my best to optimize the ever-loving hell out of my videos for Google search. And some of them appear, almost all of them appear if you do like Battle Cats breakdowns as like a Google search. And I'm thinking about partnering with a few websites to maybe help with that. But as things stand now, that's what that particular graph looks like. Moving on here, it just kind of reiterates two other points. Firstly, 95% of my views come from shorts and 4.4% come from the videos themselves. And given the massive disparity between the amount of shorts we have and the amount of videos we have, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Then underneath that, you have the fact that only about 5% of people are subscribed, and once again, I already addressed that earlier. And on the right-hand side, you have kind of what I mean. So, while it is true the majority of my views by country do come from the US, the majority of my views in general come from Asia, so just bear that in mind, or at the very least not English-speaking countries, or not predominantly English-speaking countries, I should say. And then on the left here, we have two graphs that I've kind of commented on already, and I'm pretty sure I put one of these in twice. If so, I do apologize. And then on the right-hand side, and this is particularly interesting, this is where YouTube thinks most of you guys are active. Now, I'm pretty sure what YouTube does here is it just takes the aggregate of views and then pairs them up to time. And while that is good for most channels, given the amount of shorts content we produce and given the fact that our shorts generally have more traffic than our long form videos, I think that's why there's such a weird pattern here. So if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, you look at that graph and you see that during 12 p.m. is the dead drop. And for most channels, this isn't true. For most channels, it's the opposite. Now, what happens at 12 p.m., I hear you asking? Well, the way my release schedule works is there's shorts content that gets released basically every 4 hours, with the exception of 12 o'clock, which is where the long format video comes out. So I'm not too sure if this graph is accurate when it comes to my channel in particular. I've done some Googling on it, haven't really been able to find any satisfactory answers. If the content creators among me know, let me know. But I don't think my views are actually being hampered by releasing at 12 p.m. And even if they were initially, because so much of my content is considered to be evergreen, or at least I consider it to be evergreen, I don't really see this as a big issue. Up next is probably the most interesting thing for the other Battle Cats YouTubers out there, and that is how close I am to actually monetizing the channel and making any money off of it. If you've never looked into it or never needed to, the way a channel starts making money is by kind of going through a process. Firstly, you need to reach 1,000 subscribers, just total. And then within about a year, you need to either get 4,000 hours worth of watch time or 10 million shorts views. And every channel's kind of different, but because of the way I've kind of fast-tracked this, you'll see a lot more subscribers relative to the necessary watch hours as well as shorts views. And I mean, naturally, like, I put a lot of time and effort into this channel. Certainly on the back end I do, like, way more time and energy than is apparent to any layman viewing. But if you actually run my channel through something like TubeBuddy and you actually look at all the tags and you look at the descriptions and you look at like how much manual effort is being put in, it's pretty staggering. And to be completely fair, to put this into perspective for all of you, it usually takes YouTube channels about a year to get 1,000 subscribers. So for me to reach half that amount, or over half that amount even, in the span of really a month is kind of mind-blowing. So it's not even really that I'm behind in terms of watch hours or shorts views, it's more so I'm just really ahead in terms of subscribers. And as far as watch hours is concerned, that number will go up faster the more long format videos I have out. So there's kind of like a weird relationship between amount of videos and amount of watch hours. So it's one of those things that'll take care of itself eventually. Either way, I'm not too worried or pressed about any of this stuff. So yeah. Now let's talk about the future, starting with the immediate future. So what you can expect from this channel for next month, being August, is 1 cat breakdown per day, 5 shorts per day, and at least 5 posts per day. I'm kind of working on this number, but I think 5 is pretty good. And then you'll get 1 review video per month, which will be likely in the same style as this one, maybe with a few alterations here or there. As far as a longer term plan for the channel, you can expect to get about 5 shorts per day, really for the life of the channel. I don't really intend on ever changing that. You'll get 1 cat breakdown per day until about the 100th cat breakdown, and then it'll turn from a daily release to a weekly release. And that process will repeat for the enemies as well as for the levels themselves. So to put that in other terms, for the first 300 days of the channel-ish, a little bit more than that, but about 300 days, you'll be getting a video a day. But after they all turn into weekly releases, I'll be doing like weekly other style of videos. It'll all be about battle cats, but some will be like challenge videos. They'll be more entertainment focused more than likely. And I'll just grab community input based on what you guys say and just do a video like that more than likely. I'll probably do like a poll or something like that. So in the end, you'll have about 800 cat breakdowns, assuming Ponos keeps adding in new cats. And that'll be done in about 13 years or so. 700 enemy analyses, which should take me about 11 years. And if I decide to do a video for each stage, I'm looking at doing 4,800 stage walkthroughs, which I doubt we'll do because it'll take me like 90 years to do that. So I don't know. I'll figure something out. If you guys have any ideas on how to best tackle the stages and levels, let me know down beneath. Because I would like to do all of them, but it's just there's so many if you include all the event stages. Now for the hidden secret or hidden agenda or master plan, I guess, whatever that is you want to call it. So if you notice in a lot of the newer videos, there's a lot more words on the screen. And while I do think this overall improves the quality of the videos, what it also enables me to do is just take those words and then translate them into other languages. From there, I can just put like music or something and then re-upload onto a new channel dedicated to that language. And in doing so, I can essentially create Battle Cats content for a variety of different languages without necessarily needing to speak those languages myself or remake entire videos. While it is kind of cheesy and gaming the system a little bit, I do think it is actually a pretty viable strategy and has a pretty good amount of upside. Being that Battle Cats is far more popular in Asia and various other countries than it is in Canada or the US, I actually think this idea has legs and it's worth pursuing. It also takes minimal effort on my behalf to actually do this. So the plan, in the end, is world domination, which is pretty apt considering the overall theme of the game that the channel's focused on. And that wraps up the channel recap for July of 2023. Let me know what you guys think down beneath in the comment section, and be sure to share any input you're able to. Thank you so much, and as always, I'll talk to you guys soon.